TV brings the world of motorsports into your home with over 100 live race series such as MotoGP, IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship, Extreme E, World Superbike, and the newly launched all-electric E1 series. From 2 wheels to 4, from land to sea, your destination is Rev TV.
It's the premier asphalt racing circuit in Norway, opened back in 1990, and it's the host of the first round of the PSR Winter Series. It's Rudskogen Motor Center, and you're live here on Green Flag TV. Welcome, everyone. I am Derrick Watson, next to Brad Daniels, here for the first round of the Winter Series. Dustin, Ollis pushing the buttons, making us look and sound good in a production truck. And Brad, here we are, the PSR Winter Series. It's a bit of a fun series. It's a mystery car, mystery track every week. And in week 1, it's jumpy trucks around a very tight road course.
Yeah, I mean, the combo is pretty insane here tonight in Norway. You know, we got these Pro 2 lights that are going all over this fun little course. But nonetheless, you could see, 5 races, and no one knows what's going to happen next. So I think tonight we saw a lot of people just really driving over each other in practice here. So, this is going to be fun, but at the same time, just a thrill to watch.
Yeah, look at that bottom of the screen. Very unique format. A 5-minute quali, but a 2 8-minute heats, and then a 25-minute feature race. Will be done pretty quickly. Some eagle-eyed Discord members have already been kind of trying to investigate and do their best, Scooby-Doo investigation of those track logos to see what they can figure out is upcoming in the month and a half ahead. Well, before we get into tonight's broadcast, I think it's appropriate we do our thank you and promote also Premier Sim Racing. Premier Sim Racing is how you can stay connected with Premier Sim Racing. You can get league updates, race schedules, and everything you need to be part of this PSR community. Scan the QR code on your screen to go to their link tree. And I tell you, Brad, this league is great. It's a community built around racing. We saw 3 amazing seasons in 2025 of truck racing when it ended in an ultimate playoff race at Auto Club, and I bet there's more planned for 2026. So go ahead and join the PSR Discord and get all the info as it becomes available. We also do want to thank Mr. Hedge. Sim racing is full of unforgettable moments, and Mr. Hedge can help you capture them all. From your first wins to fresh liveries to heck, even those crashes you'll never forget. Mr. Hedge turns virtual racing into memories worth sharing. They're clean, they're sharp, and they're made for sim racers. Visit mrhedge.co.uk to get the best moments in focus. Well, Brad, here we are at Rudskogen Motor Center here in Norway. It was opened back in 1990. It closed for a bit, got redesigned. It is now, I guess, technically a Toki track, like Coda, like the Charlotte in Roval has some of the inspirations from the famous track designer. But around this track, we're going to go multiple times tonight here in these Pro 2 lights.
Yeah, we got 14 turns of just completely different atmospheres. I mean, coming through, you can see, I believe this is turn 12, and coming into turn 14, I believe. Oh, that's actually turn 2. Coming through turn 2 here, you can see it's a 270-degree right-hand corner, and you got a long back straight here, the longest straight here in... Oh, this is the front stretch. Apologies there. So we're actually going to...
It's a mystery race for us as well, so we're going to be kind of caught off guard a little bit as well. That's okay. That's the fun of it. Robert Barney just at the fastest lap in qualifying, a 1:39. I was looking today, Brad, about this track once we found out the announcement a couple hours ago. The supercarts, of all things, have the fastest lap around this circuit. So Barney just turned a 1:39. The supercarts at this track have turned a 1:23, 16 seconds faster than these Pro 2 light trucks.
Jeez, oh man. I mean, I could hardly imagine. I mean, yeah, these trucks might not, really be meant for this at all. But, thinking about it right now, looking at Robert Barney under 140, and pretty impressive. I mean, still got 5 drivers right behind him within a second. But, I got turn 14 and turn 2 mixed up, both of them being hard right-hand corners. I think, these drivers, along with the viewers, just are going to be thrown around a lot with everything going on here. You kind of touched on it, where we got thrown for a spin a little bit here with the combination, learning about it here today. So, nonetheless, it's going to be a lot of fun. But, like you said, it's also very warm here. For a winter series, it's 68 degrees here. And in Norway, I know they're really wanting the sunlight. So this is kind of out of the ordinary right now this time of year. But nonetheless, here in Rudskogen, a fun track, a fun combination all around. Could be a good time.
Yeah, maybe a nice escape for some of our members, right? To get out here in the warmer Nordic air and have some fun. All right, well, the 5-minute qualifying is over. We're going to go ahead and load into our first heat race. There'll be 2 of them, 8 minutes apiece. And you see some overhead shots of the sights and sounds. There's a go-kart course right in the middle of that picture, by the way. So you can get a picture of that as well. All right, well, let's go ahead, and we're going to wait for everyone to grid up, and we'll get this 8-minute heat going. Here's how it's going to line up in the first heat. Robert Barney's up on the pole. Ted Lowendick is back in P2. We'll go back into P3. That's going to be Nathan Ray with Bradley Holly back in P4. Got Jeff Evans in P5 with Mark Kalin back in P6. And Nathan Deering's in P7 with Richard Regan Jr. back in P8. P9 is Thomas Sink with Colton Lane next to him in P10. P11 is Steve Loving with Nicholas Acosta back in P12. P13, James Morgan is next to Brandon Walter. And then going on back, Zachary Burnt and Matt Brewer. Find out your top 16. And I believe, a couple more. Nick Hunter's in 17th with Matt Scherf back in P18. Doug Evans in P19 with Reese Bogue back in P20. Pretty big field. 20 trucks in this first heat, Brad. Remember, 8 minutes in total or 30 laps. It's going to be 8 minutes, I can tell you that. We're not going to do 30 laps in 8 minutes here. So, what do you think? A little bit of chaos here in this first heat?
Oh, absolutely. Feeling out process is always, whenever you get into a new truck with a new group of people, I feel like you can see they're about twice the size of the pace car, which is actually kind of funny to look at from that perspective. But, nonetheless, 8 minutes, you got no time to really get anywhere. And, that's about, 5 laps if I'm doing my math correctly, maybe 6 if we get lucky. So for these drivers, just trying to learn it all out and get to the second heat is probably the most important thing. But these trucks also can do a little bit of climbing over each other, hitting and banging every so often. So, these drivers have a lot to prove here.
By the way, I want to make a note here for this league, since it was mystery cars in the Winter Series, there is no trading paints. The painters did not have time to paint anything, so we're going to see some very basic iRacing paint schemes throughout the Winter Series as well. But you see the pace cars leading us back here. This is turn 14 coming down the back straight. I hope you're ready. Welcome into Green Flag TV for the Winter Series for the Premier Sim Racing. And for the first time, let's go racing under green flag conditions. Big long ride, 3 wide over the start-finish line. A couple of drivers I saw there. Oh, there's some beating and banging. Jeff Evans in the pink and white truck got knocked around at 3 wide through the first set of corners, Brad.
Robert Barney take the commanding lead, and you can see just chaos ensuing around turn 2 here. This long, winding right-hander that sets him up for this long straight. Now you can see everyone's going to try and settle it all out, but right now Ted Lowendick taking firm control of that second place position, and everyone's single filing out going into turn 3 here. And that's what opportunity provides here at the first set of corners. You got a lot of sharp handers, and right there you can see a little battle between Mark Kalin. That is also Bradley Hawley battling out for 9th, and some more going on behind him.
This right here is turns 5, 6, and 7. They kind of wind back and forth in a snaking S fashion. And to head us back around into turn 8, that's going to be the left-hander on your screen. Up here now through turn 9. This is a very windy course, not a very long straight. Only one big straightaway on this course as we now head between 9 and 10. You see close is how these drivers are getting. See that already the field starting to separate with that green truck before Rudskogen almost got the back in, almost got a bumper hit from Nicholas Acosta. Acosta is trying to dig it in deep. Here we are back through turns 12 and 13. This is a big, long, winding corner here, Brad. This will take us into turn 14, one of those corners you hinted about. And now this straightaway, the only straightaway, the longer straightaway on the track, by the way, not that long. I think about, so you'll see it go by pretty fast here. First lap complete, and it's Robert Barney leading us around.
Ted Lowendick is pretty much the only driver, it seems like, that's been able to keep up with Robert Barney for now. We're going to take an onboard with Bradley Hawley here into the first left-hander here, coming across the stripe. You can see sending it in there, but now it's going to be Mark Kalin to the inside. He's still there for coming around turn 2 here. This 270-degree right-hander gives the advantage to the 62, and you can see now he's able to get a lengthy distance as he has a hungry pack of trucks right behind him.
You can also see from that onboard shot from inside the truck how much these things wobble, Brad. These things are not stable. They're built for off-road racing. So as they're going through these corners, they're leaning back and forth. They're rocking back and forth. It's not the easiest of rides, although Robert Barney and Ted Lowendick make it look that way.
You know, they're bumper to bumper right now, really. Ted has done a great job of keeping Robert Barney in check this entire time. Thomas Sink is now kind of on an island of his own as we look further on back here. Right now, Bradley Hawley always seeming to be in some sort of battle, able to get around the 27 of Steve Loving. And now Mark Kalin maybe try to follow suit, but the 27 sends it in there deep.
Oh, couldn't make it stick. Got hit in the back end by Mark Kalin. You saw that back end flop around a little bit. All looks to be good as far as I can tell, but boy, that's how a dive bomb maybe doesn't work in these trucks, because that wasn't a big attempt right there. Up front, though, Ted Lowendick's keeping Robert Barney in his sights, as we're already about almost halfway through this first heat here. And it just makes me wonder, Brad, is maybe Ted waiting to see if he can do the old bump and run?
Well, that's if he reloads back in here. I think maybe
did he just disconnect?
There he goes. Some internet troubles, it looks like, for the 13 as he keeps pole vaulting up and down and maybe making Robert Barney confused where he is behind him. But for now, maybe some positions gained for everyone.
There he is. I see him now on the track. Ted Lowendick's back second place. Having a little bit of technical gremlins creeping on through. But boy, Thomas Sink is now trying to see if he can close that gap, as is Nathan Ray and Jeff Evans up in the top 5 here. Remember, this race and all races in the Winter Series, they're meant to be fun. These are just kind of cool ways for the drivers to kind of, keep engaged. And boy, that Mark Kalin truck got engaged with the truck up ahead, that green and black truck. I believe that to be Reese Bogue right there. And man, you can see on board from Matt Scherf just how much battling is going on back here. But remember, this is a fun series, Brad. This is outside of our normal truck series. We're just out here to have fun on some free content, show off the league a little bit, and let these guys have some fun during a stressful holiday season.
Maybe the gifts will keep on giving for maybe the 26. Matt Scherf, right?
Wow, there's
sending it in there. I thought it was going to be a 3-wide wreck there, but everyone
kept on giving right there.
But nonetheless, I mean, these trucks, the damage model, and you can really beat against each other. As you see, Mark Kalin and Reese Bogue have been leaning on each other. These three have just been doing what they can, and maybe the only time these drivers are used to getting a truck that can actually go off-road comparative to the rest of the season, maybe for the rest of this winter season as well. We'll have to see in the coming weeks. But nonetheless, this battle all but over. It looks like everyone's single filing back out up through the lead.
Well, I did some my own Carmen Sandiego investigations of that image we showed earlier in the broadcast, and I'm not positive. I think there may be another road course or two on the schedule. We'll wait and see what comes up, though, if my guesses were correct. But up front here, this is Robert Barney looking back on the blinking Ted Lowendick, and Teddy's keeping it close, is really trying here. Remember, Ted might have an advantage, Brad. Remember, these drivers typically run the NASCAR truck on oval races, but Teddy really originally came from a road racing background. Teddy started there, had success, wanted to learn how to do some road racing. So I wonder if Ted maybe has a small advantage on the field here.
That practice is definitely going to help you, because I can tell you there's not a lot of drivers who are used to, this oval circuit that are going to know where they are right now, because you know when you
other
get
road racers, you may not know this track.
Yeah, that true. You're very correct. I mean, I've had fun on this track with a bunch of other different cars, probably about 3 or 4. Not in this Pro Light though. It's definitely this combo is something different. And you know, for these two up front, it seems like they have been pace for pace pretty much. Nothing really, no advantageous spots other than Ted's Wi-Fi.
White flag this time by in the first heats, what we're coming up to. Robert Barney is up in that red and white truck up ahead. Ted Lowendicker riding on board with him. And remember I said after you can try the old bump and run, as we call it in oval time, this would be his shot to do it. 1 lap to go in Norway for the first heat.
And no one deciding which, someone's trying to figure out who's going to go on that inside line. It looked like Barney defended that inside line, and now both of them still bumper to bumper yet again. We saw pretty much Ted was taking up all of that bumper through the entire back half of that last lap, and now Robert Barney's going to try and maybe just run a different line, try to defend going into turn 3 here, but Lowendick.
Oh boy, and boy, keep an eye by the way back on Thomas. And he's in the catbird seat, Brad. If something goes wrong with these two, if they make contact and spin around, Thomas Sink could easily be your new leader.
He does have the fastest lap. He definitely knows how to go fast. Just right now, these two leaders have been so consistent, keeping himself about a second ahead, and now he's got Nathan Ray back there in 4th, but still this battle up front, not letting loose at any point.
Well, almost halfway through the course here. They're up now through turn 9, a little bit of a straightaway before turn 10 for the final time in this first heat. Lowendick again looks to the inside, can't make it stick. He'll want to get a couple more shots here to make the move happen. Now down through turns 11 up into turn 12. What do you think, Brad? Does Lowendick got anything left, or is he going to be in P2?
I mean, he's been in P2 the whole time. I don't think Robert has opened the door for the 13 at any point. He's going to have to make a big send here coming into the final set of corners.
One final time up through turn 13, now into turn 14. You see Ted barely digs it into the ground, looking for any grip possible. Down the front straight for the final time. It'll be Robert Barney, one of the drivers in the playoffs in season 3, will win the first heat. You see the field come on through. A couple of drivers left back there in turn 14. They'll get on through here. You see Barney's safe inside. By the way, that's different for Barney. He's got himself in a nice little office there.
I think that's Colton Lane and Mark Kalin just having some fun across this track. Oh my gosh.
Hello. All right, Barney the flagman has put the flag away. He's going to get back in air conditioning, and we'll get ready for heat number 2 in just a moment. Let's take a look at how they're going to line up. Let's first look at how they finish, I should say. And heat 1, Robert Barney, Ted Lowendick, Thomas Sink, your top 3. Holly, Evans, Regan, your top 6. Bradley Holly, 7. Nathan Deering, 8. Matt Sheriff, 9. And Steve Loving was back in P10, Brad.
Looking through, Mark Kalin, Colton Lane battling out to the end there. Finishing 11th, 12th. Doug Evans, Nicholas Acosta, James Morgan round out your top 15. Brandon Walters, Zachary Burnt, and Nick Hunter, Reese Bogue finish out your cars or trucks on the lead. Well, really, the ran tonight.
And see Matt Brewer 6 laps down there. All right, well, I'm being told in my ears there may be an invert coming, by the way, here for the second heat. So wait to see how that's going to happen here. So we'll have a bit of a warm-up here and just a bit of a break. Oh, hello, just to get a moment here. And a little death there. Well, Brad, first race in the heat there with the jumpy trucks, the Pro 2 lights at Rudskogen. What were your takeaways?
It was there and gone in a flash. Robert Barney, I mean, he was just holding on to that lead the whole time. Ted Lowendick was just up on the back bumper, and everyone else was having a good time.
All right, looks like we're only going to have one heat tonight from what I can tell, possibly from the Irish and Stewards. Brad, I think this is the one field fit inside the whole heat. We're in a 2-minute warm-up, and then we're going to go to our 25-minute, or this is good, 25 minutes or 100 laps. Do you want to take bets on which happens first?
I'd put my money on it, feeling like the 25 minutes. Couldn't tell you for sure, though, but, you know, I have a good feel.
Unless you got like a rocket ship or something. What's the old Mario Kart power-up? Bullet Bob?
Oh, that's yeah, like the
Bullet Bill.
Yeah,
Bullet Bill. Sorry, not Bullet Bob. Bullet Bill. You tell I'm not a Nintendo guy. All right. Well, So what we saw there in that race, Brad, was a little bit of drivers pulling away and kind of just holding their positions. Do you think we'll see more aggressiveness in this race? Do you think we'll see more of the same, or what's upcoming, do you think?
I'm thinking everyone's kind of used to used to the truck, used to the track in the racing situation. So I think everyone might be trying to push it a little further now. We saw some people try to take a little bit of a send at times, but I think there'll be more sends and maybe some more 3-wide action at times.
Well, with the invert in place, let's take a look at tonight's starting grid for our main race here at Rudskogen. Steve Loving's up in P1 in that number 27 machine. He's next to Matt Scherf over in P2. Then you'll find the bright yellow Nathan Deering in P3 next to Bradley Holly in that very bright neon colored truck. Richard Regan Jr., your season 3 in the 2025 champions in P5 next to Jeff Evans in P6. P7 belongs to Nathan Ray. He's next to Thomas Sinkenau, all-white truck, in P8. P9's Ted Lowendick. We saw him race pretty hard in the heat race. He's next to Robert Barney, who won that heat race. P11's Mark Kalin with Colton Lane back in P12. P13's Doug Evans, and he's next to Nicholas Acosta in the 816. And then you get James Morgan in P15. He's next to Brandon Walter back in P16. 17th is Zachary Burnt next to Nick Hunter back in 17th and 18th. And then 19th and 20th, Reese Bogue and Matt Brewer rounds out a 20-truck field. Let's look top to bottom at tonight's starting grid for our race. Well, Brad, here we are through turn 14. I'm excited. Are you?
Oh, yeah. We're ready to get this race going yet again. Everyone catching back up to the field like in the heat. You got Steve Loving, Matt Scherf up in the front. Everyone trying to catch up back there, but it doesn't matter. We are green back here in Norway.
Green flags in the air at Rudskogen for this 25-minute feature race. See him driving on down the front straight up to turn 1. They're going to come with that hard left-hander. Loving is going to hold off. No, he's not going to hold off Matt Scherf. Matt Scherf just dug right on through the off track there, made it on around. We have our first pass here in the first corner.
I mean, Scherf did a great job of keeping it right there. I don't know how far of an off track that was. These trucks can go anywhere they can, but the stewards are going to have the last say on where they can't go. But that actually didn't really give them that much of an advantage, as Steve Loving is right there looking to the inside coming through 3.
Wow. Look up there. There's Nathan Deering. He's going to enter the picture here. Now, bright yellow machine. He's all over the back end of Matt Scherf there. And there's Bradley Holly, Jeff Evans, and more wanting to enter this picture here. It's tight battling here in the first lap.
And, there's a lot of, I feel like neon yellows and pinks feeling right now. You could see, Nathan Deering getting outside there. Jeff Evans, that is Bradley Holly jumping into the picture now, taking that podium position. And as these two battling up front, Bradley Holly's eyeing up, potentially taking the lead from these two. Whoa!
Oh, big contact right there. That was Bradley Holly getting his way through there. 3 wide on behind him. This can't work out for very long, Brad.
Holly taking the lead comfortably, and Loving is around.
Jeff Evans made contact, I think, with Matt Scherf. That got Steve Loving on around. And here comes that yellow truck. Nathan Deering, he's getting around Bradley Holly. And it is tight. There's more aggression than there was in our heat race.
Yeah, I didn't think it would be this immediate, but everyone's just trying to get any position they can. Thomas Sink already making his way up to second.
Wow. Boy, they are throwing elbows out here at Rudskogen in Norway. And now I know why it's the premier racing circuit, because this is fun.
I think I just saw that Scherf's bumper come off there as he's still battling going into turn 1. He's going to take that third spot away from Mark Kalin, who's also jumped up a ton because of that calamity on the first lap.
Let's watch what's going to happen here. This is a replay from our first set of turns. There's the contact with Scherf and Loving, and Bradley Holly got his way on through. That put him 3 wide with Nathan Deering right there. And that was just the beginning of a chaotic first lap.
Snowball effect. You can see Loving gets thrown around there again, and everyone just trying to disperse, finding some sort of real estate.
Big wreck. Look at that in the middle of that corner. Oh my gosh, that's Ted Lowendick. He's up in the air, bouncing around. And that truck is moving ahead. Now they do get one fast repair. There's Jeff Evans. That's Ted Lowendick's bumper, I think, out there. Oh, Nathan Deering up in the air on 2 wheels. At the 16. That Robert Barney, I believe.
That's James Morgan, who just became one, it looked like.
That's what happened to Lowendick. Lowendick got tapped and just turned on through, and it just broke loose from there. That's that big wreck we saw the images of. And oh my gosh, Ted Lowendick got hit 2-3 times. One more come. Nope, that's it.
And,
here's what happened to Nathan Deering. Brad, watch this.
Gets sent around and look in the wrong direction. Can't do anything about it. Oh, wow! That truck almost went vertical.
And twice.
Oh my gosh. Deering definitely going to need that fast repair now after almost becoming a rocket ship there. Nonetheless, these top two still together. We're going to ride on board with James Morgan. Then he saw the truck up in the air and couldn't think about it. These trucks are hard to turn. They look fun, by the way. I'm going to give these guys credit, by the way, Brad. I don't know if you've driven these trucks before. These guys are making it look easy and fun. As someone who's driven these trucks before, these things are a handful. Yeah, especially when you put them on anything that Hunter. You know, it feels like I've done a couple of races where me and my buddies have some fun on some random tracks, kind of like tonight. Now, I don't think we've gone to the extent of like a Rudskogen or anything like that. Looking back here again, I think this is Robert Barney, I believe, getting thrown around here. He gets sent wide and right into Colton Lane. 60. Yeah, or Colton Lane, and then Barney got a little piece of the action from that yellow truck on back. Yeah, so my oh my, lots have happened here. We're only about 10 minutes in, or I was going to be about 5 minutes in. Pardon me. We're sort of at 25 minutes on the clock. And it's Bradley, Holly, Thomas, Sink, Mark, Kalen in your top three. Regan Jr.'s in P4 with Nathan Ray back in P5. Now, Mev note, Brad, across the Winter Series, cautions are only thrown if the admins feel it's absolutely necessary. And I guess they did not think that calamity back there up in those twisty corners was not enough to throw a caution. Yeah, well, looking back here with Ted Lowendick real quick on the replay. Oh, he gets collected. Is that Nick Hunter, maybe? I couldn't get it. I think it was. Yeah, the yellow truck. Yeah. Just gets turned right around. Lowendick, obviously, that is a complete flip-flop of a heat race to the feature race now. He is currently scored back in 15th. You see in the back of your picture there, and a bunch of our drivers who were up front in heat race. Of course, that inversion did not help anything for them, but they're towards the back here. So you see some of the back of the field moving along. This is the battle on back through about P15 right now. So this is P5 through P9. I've spotted the wrong cars. You see a car get loose there through those corners. Trying to make the left-hander and things look more normal. Derrick, going back to your point, I mean, like, you can see these drivers are just trying to do whatever they can to, you know, you're going from left-hander back to right-hander, back to left-hander in that series between turns 4 and 7. And in these trucks, I mean, depending on how much force feedback you have, that could just be a workout in itself for one lap. Oh, jeez. Oh, that's boy. Steve Loving getting right in there on the back bumper of Nathan Ray, not making any contact. My, oh, my. Mark Kalen's trying to dig in. Yeah, I got to tell you, I wasn't sure what to expect today, Brad, when they announced the Pro 2 lights at Rudskogen. This track, typically a smaller track, typically known nowadays, I believe, for MotoGP racing, and some smaller cars like the TCRs come here. I wasn't sure what was going to happen with these big jumpy trucks, but so far, about 7 minutes in, it's been nothing but action. Yeah, almost turned into a little bit of monster jam here sometimes, but for everyone involved, unless you're Nathan Deering, that's about the only driver right now that's been having a little bit of problem here. Everyone's still going on. Reese Bowe getting in there. Matt Scherf right behind him, too. He's got a little collection of 5 here now for the 5th place position from, I believe that's Nathan Ray on back. Yeah, Reese Bogue, that green truck in the middle who saw make that big dive a second. That's P7 right in the middle of your screen right there. That number 4 truck. So that's Bogue. He's got Matt Scherf and Brandon Walter behind him. See a little riding on back here in the 33. There's some car parts missing. I'm not used to seeing this bumper so vividly. What bumper? Whenever you're looking at the truck, that's what it should look like. He's actually getting in with it with Thomas Sink.
That's Thomas Sink getting in with Mark Kalin. And that is Richard Regan Jr. looking on back from those two drivers. Up front, still Bradley Hollis. Oh my gosh. You see how sturdy these trucks are? Had any other truck, that would have been a nice pit maneuver. That probably would have put Thomas Sink into a wall, but these trucks are sturdy, and they can take a look at him.
Yeah, it is insane to watch. I mean, I've never seen these trucks in real life, but seeing clips online and, this race here tonight, you can definitely tell that these trucks are just meant to be a tank on the racetrack. And right now, that's pretty much proving it, as everyone has pretty much gone from, I feel like fifth on back has had some sort of contact and just kept on going without even acting like anything's, missing. You got fenders missing here, bumpers, maybe even some hoods, depending on some earlier incidents. Looks like Scherf is in the pits.
Couple of trucks, Matt Scherf is in the pits, so he's going to come on down. He has a black flag to serve, possibly for incident points or maybe even a meatball for required repairs. We'll take a look and see what happened there. Nathan Deering's also down pit road as well. He was involved in that 3-wide battle in the very beginning of this run. And Richard Regan, from the bottom of your screen, almost dove in on Mark Kalin. You see these guys getting these big, massive runs. I know it's an odd comparison, Brad, but deal with me for a second. The way these guys are carrying momentum through these corners, it almost feels like they're go-kart racing. They're just trying everything they can not to break momentum here.
Yeah, I mean, with these trucks, it is, I feel like a fight, but at the same time, like you said, the momentum is kind of key when you have to try and send it in there to a corner. And, on the dirt track, you might be able to use that momentum to, throw yourself into a line, maybe go door to door. But when you come to anything that's not dirt, asphalt, concrete, any type of track, with these trucks, it can just be a whole different problem to try and make a pass, and the momentum just gets used a lot differently as Thomas Sink has made his way back. Ooh, he's getting away now, and Mark Kalin's looking for the inside.
And it's to the inside of the corner here, and they are coming now up through turns 14 and back onto the front straight. And I thought Mark Kalin was going to make the pass to Thomas Sink. He is digging to the inside. He is begging for a way in, but they're both looking at the back end of Bradley Hollis. He's starting to pull away.
To say Holly, I feel like with how Sink, Kalin, and even Regan have been, battling it all out behind him, he would be pulling out to a second gap. But still, these two leaning on each other. They're not going to get away from Bradley Holly right now. As Kalin looking to the inside, coming around turn 2, he's going to take a firm grasp of that second place position, and maybe Richard Regan's looking for it as well.
Regan now, maybe he can make the pass. If he get up in the podium here, can he get around that white truck of Thomas Sink? And boy, the moves being made here, it looks less like racing and more like almost like hockey body checks. That's what we're throwing around here.
Yeah, I think it's lucky that a lot of drivers, want to feel like they're having a good time, having fun. But looking back here, Nick Hunter got spun around coming out of turn 14 to the front stretch.
Yep, that's the Nucco machine, that bright yellow truck, synonymous, at least the bright yellow is, with Nick Hunter. He goes on around and he keeps that truck moving. There's Thomas Sink, got in that car drifting through the corner here. And now these guys are, by the way, up through 8 and 9, headed towards turns 10 with about a little less than 14 minutes to go. And by the way, this track originally, Brad, only had 10 turns. It was reopened back in 2012. They added the extra turns into it. Add about a quarter of a mile to the track. That's where Herman Tilke got involved with helping redesign this track. And I feel like there's some corners of this track that you can kind of feel his inspiration.
Oh yeah, I feel like right here, this long,
big sweeping corner.
Yeah, it's just an absolute. It just feels like it's meant for, obviously not this car, but at the same time, a lot of action through that corner. You can get that momentum up coming down the front stretch.
As we said, open the show, this is the oldest racetrack in Norway, opened back in 1990, as we saw a pass right there. Mark Kalin aggressive on the back, or excuse me, on the side of Bradley Holly. Holly will pull away, but Kalin is throwing out the elbows. Remember, Kalin, of course, one of our other Final Four drivers on with Bradley Holly for our PSR finale race a couple weeks ago. These guys came so close to winning a championship. Steve Loving's on around, but boy, oh boy, up front, Kalin's going to make the pass right here. Can he make it stick?
He's pushing. He's got those elbows out with Holly. It's the first time Holly had to really get his elbows out this race, and he's going to lose that first place position to Mark Kalin.
See up top, there's a different bit of contact up there. That's what happened to Steve Loving, I do believe, that caused him to get looped around. And on around he went. We saw the end of that. live. Brad, follow me for a second and try to use some creative thinking here. When we look at the truck of Bradley Holly, do you get like Scooby-Doo Mystery Machine vibes, or is that just me?
Well, no, I could see it. I feel like the retro, like, there's no blue, which I think the green, if there was blue, I would instantly call this the Mystery Machine, but I do see where you're going with that. I feel like, there's probably like 3 or 4 paint schemes that are actually on these, throughout the field here tonight. All the rest are just, like you said, those basic themes, but some of these, even for being basic, are pretty cool looking. I mean, Bradley Holly's truck right now got that pink mystery machine vibes. I kind of like that nickname.
Well, I think it's no mystery what Brad wants to do. He wants to get back up and around Mark Kalin. The mystery is, how will he do it? Here's Nicholas Acosta, by the way. He's going to be under attack from Nicholas Hunter, and well, that's using the bumper L, and Acosta says, hello, let me show you how that feels.
Trying to fight back obviously didn't end well for Acosta, but when you're in these trucks, especially when it's not like it's supposed to be a fun race, that's just, a little bit of aggressive driving, trying to match the energy, and unfortunately for Acosta, that sends him around, but nonetheless, everyone seems like they're having fun. Only 2 drivers out so far in this field of 19 that have ran the feature race here tonight. Keeping it moving for a lot of these drivers, just doing what they can to have some fun here.
Fun we are having here live on Green Flag TV. Happy you're along with us again. Derrick Watson, Brad Daniels with Dustin, Ollis making us look and sound good down in the production booth. And I think Sync's going to hold. Not going to hold on that. Mark Kalin, or excuse me, Richard Regan, pardon me, can get around. Mark Kalin's up front. I got those 2 black and yellowish trucks confused. So Regan now gets up on the podium. But if you're having fun tonight watching this race, then good news, Brad. There is racing all weekend long on Green Flag TV. Continues, in fact, tonight in about an hour or so, less than that. The Beer League, they're at Zolder tonight. They're also another track that does mystery tracks. They announced theirs earlier today. Friday night, Nolan Rempel, Lucas Moody will be there for 275 laps at the Bristol Motor Speedway. On Saturday, Justin Prince, myself, and others will be there for the finale of the FTR Trophy AI Series. Catch this, Brad. 6 hours, 5 classes of cars at Barber Motorsport Park. What could go wrong there? We'll find out. Saturday night, Nolan Rempel's back with Lucas Moody for the Michigan International Raceway for the SRA. Monday night, High Tide Racing League is at Watkins Glen for their first road course of the season. And then Mars, the Mid-Atlantic Racing Series, goes to Michigan as well next Tuesday. And we'll be back here 1 week from tonight for our next mystery track. What could it be? We'll find out next Wednesday in the PSR Discord, as Thomas Sink just found out what's like to race with Richard Regan. And, Brad, I don't know if you've seen it yet. That Mars League, the Mid-Atlantic Racing Series, they have a choose cone rule. Now, the way they do it's a little different. They get one of the race admins out there in a VW Beetle painted up like a cone, and he sits middle of the track under caution. And that's how they do choose cone. I would like to tell you that choose cone doesn't get hit, but I'd be lying to you. we have an OSHA sign we put up on Tuesday nights. It's the number of days since last accident. That choose cone has a sign that gets hit so often.
I love that. That is amazing. I don't think, I feel like no one should ever be hitting that VW Beetle, but if it happens, it happens.
The choose cone was quote unquote sick last night, is what we were told. I think the choose cone was just tired of getting hit. But speaking of getting hit, there's been a lot of hitting here tonight at Rudskogen. These Pro 2 lights here. We're under 10 minutes to go. Down less than 8 minutes to go here in this race. It's still Kalin, Holly, Sink, Regan, and Bogue, your top 5. And something that stood out to me, Brad, we were kind of watching this racing go by. We don't often get to see the stock iRacing paints, and I think we forget some of the stock iRacing advertisements you can put on your trucks. I've seen Mobile One tonight. I've seen Moza. Matco Tools is out there. We saw Sunoco. I forgot how many sponsors there were available on iRacing base paints.
Yeah, especially, I mean,
even truck out there somewhere, or was?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, there's right now. I mean, these guys up front don't have any advertisements, unfortunately, but throughout the field, you got some very good very good advertisements, which look snazzy. There's that Grillo's Pickles on the number 5 machine of Nathan Deering.
Do you know what Grillo's
Pickles
some
is? Hellman's.
Have one?
I have not, no.
Okay. Yeah, I think Hellman's was up there because of the Dale Jr. influence. I'm sure Hellman's is one up there available. So lots of cool sponsors available on these cars for your liking. 6.5 minutes left here on the track, and Mark Kalin has now pulled away 3 seconds. You're not missing up there. What you are catching right now is the battle with Thomas Sink and Richard Regan. And Richard Regan is using every part of that bumper he can find to try and make this pass again.
Yeah, I mean, that bumper is beaten up, and both of these guys have got some damage. But looking back, Ted Lowendick getting into it with Zachary Burnt. It looks like Burnt coming around turn 14, I believe, there. And able to make that pass complete for that 10th place position. That little battle happening from 9th on back.
Meanwhile, this right here is the green trucker, Reese Bogue. And he is trying to get on up ahead here, and he is in P5. That's Nathan Ray back in P6. And they are battling it out here. Here's Richard Regan. This is the closest he's been in a while.
These two nose to nose, feeling like they can't get away from each other. These two trucks are like magnets and just keep swapping this 3rd place position, leaving Bradley Hawley on his own little island. But right now, these two keeping it side by side through these difficult set of corners, coming around the left-hander now. It's going to be Thomas Sink with the advantage, able to claim that 3rd spot again. And Richard Regan, I mean, he's not going to let go. We're going to see this battle, I feel like, happen for the next 5 minutes until the very end. And for those top two, they love seeing it because at least they get some distance. As you see, Mark Kalin just driving away now with a 2.5-second lead.
Walking away, isn't he? Yep, about 2.5 seconds. Has dropped about half a second over Bradley Hawley. So Brad's trying to see if he can find some way up there and see if that can happen as this race goes. And Mark Kalin is in a truck all by his lonesome. Just kind of drifting through the corner here. Gets up off the corner. Doing a great job on through. This will put him up to the start-finish line. This is back, I believe, for P11 right now on your screen. This is Ted Lowendick, and he's trying to run down a couple trucks.
You can see he's making some of these drivers fear him by blinking in and out of existence. And for Zach Burnt, Steve Loving, they still got their little battle going on here for 9th. Burnt's able to keep that momentum going, keep about a truck's length ahead of the 27 now coming down the front stretch and into turn 1. Loving is really going to have to send it in here into turn 1 if he's going to have a chance to get that 9th place position back. Hard on the brakes. You saw that entire front end get really low for the 27.
You also saw Zachary Burnt kind of wobble like a goldfish right there and had that back end going both ways throughout that corner. And I think that's what allowed the competition of Steve Loving and Lowendick and others to kind of keep up with him here. See if Loving makes the pass or tries to dig to the inside corner. He will. I think he's going to make the pass right here. Good use of that inside lane. And Steve Loving will make the pass for P9 with about 3.5 minutes left to go. My goodness, well off track.
I thought Zachary Burnt was going to just use every inch of track and get right back upside the 27, but that is not the case right now. Also, I've been looking at this whole time. We've been looking at this battle, but Jeff Evans has absolutely no front end on his truck, but still keeping himself in contention here for this 9th place position as Ted Lowendick is all over the bumper of Zachary Burnt now. These guys, you know, it's going to be a battle to the end for these trucks, and Jeff Evans looks like he has been to very, very lows and now trying to get back to at least the top 10.
And I tell you, knowing Jeff like I do, no front end, but I guarantee you he's having a good time. A smile on his face, a giggle in his voice, having a good time down in that Whataback Racing Discord will be Jeff Evans. And you're right, hey, you know what? That right there, that's just an extra help to it. That's just getting rid of the unnecessary parts of the truck. Take some weight off maybe, and just expose the little bumper there, expose the little pit maneuver bar. See what you can make happen here for Jeff Evans, I guess.
I was going to say, you could maybe use it on the bumper there, get it hooked in there somehow. Maybe a little bit of an advantage there if you don't have that cover on the front.
Pull a car away from the track leader.
Still, these two for the 9th position can't get away from each other. Steve Loving, I mean, had to defend there going into turn 2. And Ted Lowendick doing his, oogie boogie impression.
There it is.
Coming. Oh, there we go.
There is the bumper on bumper action of Evans and Lowendick. Evans going to send it in here. He's going to back it up. He feels no need to be that aggressive right here with Ted Lowendick, who just sort of left the racing track, I guess. By the way, not only are the cars and the tracks going to rotate every week, the colored commentator seat is going to rotate every week as well. Brad Daniels here tonight. Next week will be Cade Corbin. We'll put Sky Shrek in for race 3. Finn Achini will be here for the last race, and Sheldon Atkins will be here as well at some point. So we're going to rotate the commentators, rotate the cars, rotate the tracks, and have a lot of fun this season. A minute and a half left on the clock here. We'll likely take the white flag this time by, and it will be a beautiful sight for Mark Kalin. But back here for Ted Lowendick, he's having a fun time. And here's Barney the flagman. He'll have his arm out that window, waving the white flag one more time around for Mark Kalin.
And all Kalin has to do is just try to keep it on track here as we look back for the battle for third. Yet again, Thomas Sink, Richard Regan, these two going back at it. Regan gets to the inside there and actually, Steve Lovett into the wall.
Yep, Loving's going to be off pace there. But here's Jeff Evans. He's going to get passed, I think, again by Ted Lowendick back there. And they'll keep that battle going. Let's see what happened to Steve Loving first up. That's Zachary burnt on behind him. And Loving did get burnt right there in the back end. At the end of the wall, he's going to go. And in the tire barrier, he's going to go thereafter. Well, up front for Mark Kalin, it's been a pretty smooth ride up through turns 6 and 7 where he is currently in that black and white truck. And it has some stuff on the side of it. It reminds me of an old Matt Kenseth DeWalt look. That's what it reminds me of, Brad.
Oh, yeah. I definitely see that. I like the Mac. That logo does a pretty good job on these trucks, I have to say myself. But for Mark Kalin, all he has to do is keep that dog on there and not hit anything else to get this easy victory after that first half of this feature.
One more time. Turns 11 and turns 12. He'll make the turn right here. Make the left-hand turn. He'll drift the truck around 2 more corners. Turns 13 right here, and in the big winding corner. Turn 14, one final time. The Kentucky native was not able to walk away with the 2025 championship, but what he will walk away with is the first win in the PSR Winter Series. Mark Kalin, the Bluegrass native, the Wildcat, wins in Norway. Meanwhile, right here, look, this is the battle to the finish right here. We'll come back to this. This is Regan. This is Sink. They are done. That was a little bit afterwards. Sink in third. Well, Brad, what a race it was. Let's take a look at the results. We'll do some interviews thereafter, and we'll talk about our thoughts on this race. Wait for the drivers to come on through here. So, Brad, we're waiting for the results to finish here. What are your thoughts in the first week of the Winter Series?
Oh, that was exciting. I mean, beating and banging, everyone just having a good time. I mean, no matter if you had a hood, you didn't have a bumper, everyone was in it to win it. And, here tonight, Mark Kalin doing a great job of running away from the field after he got through that calamity. But I think no one really had that fast, was much faster than all the others. I feel like Mark Kalin turned it on at the second half. But nonetheless, we saw a lot of drivers, a lot of trucks go a lot of different directions. And I think, nonetheless, this calamity will just continue each week.
Well, I hope so. It was fun tonight, and I hope it's fun each and every week. Let's go ahead and take a look here in just a moment. We'll have the last couple trucks finish, and we'll see what the results are here for this race. Congrats, Mark Kalin, again, the Mack truck there. The Bluegrass native is celebrating his first Winter Series victory. All right, results are ready. Let's take a look here and see. It's going to be Mark Kalin up top by over almost 2 seconds on Bradley Holly. Thomas Sink, Richard Regan come home third and fourth in that order with Reese Bogue back in P5. Then it's Barney, Ray, Walter, Evans, and Ted Lowendick in your top 10, Brad.
Looking back at the second half of the field here, Zachary Burnt, Doug Evans, Nick Hunter, Steve Loving, Nicholas Acosta round out your top 15. And then it's James Morgan, Colton Lane, Matt Scherf, and then Nathan Deering rounding out your field here tonight.
That is a look top to bottom at tonight's unofficial result. Well, it's almost funny to say, I think first are thing for Mark Kalin in the Premier Sim Racing. He won the first ever Premier Sim Racing race back in April. He won the first race in the Winter Series. Mark, you got this whole first race thing kind of locked down.
Yeah, I mean, that was a lot of fun. I'm starting to see a trend here, Derrick, with the first, like you mentioned. So yeah, let's get some more first out here, and maybe I can, put on a good show for the guys and gals that are watching on the stream, and win some more races.
We just need to get a bunch of firsts. Like every week needs to be the first something, right? Like the first, the first race of 2026, the first time we, you just got to come up with some reason to make first races or something,
Right. Yeah, it sounds like a plan to me. But man, Derrick, that was a lot of fun out there. I don't know how it was watching on the broadcast, but I'm really looking forward to going back and watching that battle for the top 4 there, and seeing what other kind of crazy battles were going on throughout the field.
Well, I'll tell you if you can confirm for me. From up here, it looked aggressive.
Yeah, it was very aggressive. I mean, you had to use your fenders up a little bit to get around people, because if like for instance me and Tom, he was doing a really good job of running his defensive line, so you really had to either rely on a really good run, which I finally ended up getting on him, or you had to rely on using up some body work somewhere, in a way that wouldn't like completely turn him around. So you had to be careful, but you had to be aggressive at the same time.
So I think my last question here, what were your thoughts when the announcement got made today, when you saw this car, this track? What was the first thing that entered your mind?
First thing that entered my mind is I'd never run on this track before. The second thing on my mind was I don't even care, because I just love driving these off-road trucks on a road course. It's just a lot of fun. So to come out here and be as quick as I wasn't the ultimate fastest in practice, but yeah, I was fast where it counted, and that's in the race. And I got lucky with a couple of incidents ahead of me to where I could move up 10 spots. But yeah, I mean, still, I had to outpace some very fast trucks out there. So it was quite a surprise.
Buddy, well, listen, well, congrats on the win in the first Winter Series race. We'll see you at whatever we have next week, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, buddy, I appreciate it, and thank you guys for putting on the broadcast. We really appreciate it, and everyone at PSR for putting on this fun series.
Appreciate you as well. That is Mark Kalin coming home in P1. You know what? Let's complicate this a little bit. I'm going to let Brad Daniels interview Bradley Holly, and this whole Brad on Brad thing won't get confusing at all.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm Brad, he's Brad. Well, Bradley, I guess technically that's how we can differentiate. But how you doing, Bradley? I feel like your elbows might be a little numb after that the heat race. Well, after the heat race and the feature race. How are you feeling about that first section of the feature race, and then all the stuff that happened between you and the top 4?
My elbows aren't hurting. It's just my entire body hurts because I decided to increase my lifting. And now I'm sore until probably the next 3 weeks. But in the heat race, I decided to go become an idiot and forget that I had an e-brake set to my push-to-talk. So that's why I kept locking up, going under the pace lap and into turn 1. Once I figured that out, I had to go into Discord and turn off my push-to-talk. With everybody, or with top 4 in the race, that was a lot of fun. It's the whole point of doing this series, to promote it and show that we can actually go and have fun also while being serious, and door bang and laugh, and create a better community for our league.
And I feel like right now we're kind of watching one of the main clips during the feature race where you just had an absolute send, I believe, in the turn 3, and I think we just had a lot of people sliding which way and everywhere else. But did you think this was going to be happening on the inaugural race here of the Winter Series, especially when you heard this track and truck combo?
Oh yeah, knowing our guys, it's definitely going to be beating and banging, talking a little smack, and having some fun. But for the most part, I don't think anybody got mad tonight. So I think it was a successful night for it being our first fun series.
And we kind of talked about it a little bit, me and Derrick, during the feature race. But I don't know if your truck was meant to look like a pink mystery machine, or if you did any touch-ups to the truck before the race. But was the paint scheme intentional, or did you just go with the flow with that?
Yeah, I got bored and decided to go make it as ugly as possible.
Brad, do you know it kind of looked like the Scooby-Doo mystery machine, or do you not see that yet?
Ah, crap. No, I have not seen that yet.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, it's
all right, buddy. Well, listen, congrats on the P2 run tonight. I can talk, and we'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
All right, that is Bradley Holly coming home in P2, and next let's pull in the driver who finished in P3. He had a strong elbows out battle with Richard Regan Jr. for a number of laps. Thomas Sink, welcome to the broadcast booth. Was that fun?
Yeah, I had a blast tonight. I love these trucks. You don't have to be the greatest skilled, you can just be an okay driver and just go out and bang fenders with everyone. I had a blast. Richard was pushing on me. I pushed back, and then Mark was hitting me, and I was pushing back on him. I was kind of like throwing caution in the wind. I was like, what's the worst that can happen?
Fair enough. All right, well, that looked pretty fun tonight. The word I used earlier was aggressive. Would you agree with that?
Maybe. I mean, I think everyone was going to be a little bit more aggressive tonight, knowing that there's really no consequences to any of your actions. So I would say I got a little bit more aggressive than I normally would, just because I knew that if something happened, it's whatever. It doesn't mean anything.
Fair enough. Well, listen, it looked like a lot of fun out there. Anyone you want to give a shout out to or say hello to?
Grinds, Bianca, everyone watching. I think my sister and my brother-in-law were watching. So love everybody. Thanks for watching. And if you want 15% off your grinds, go to getgrinds.com and use code PAUL48.
There you go. Well, Tom, congrats on the run tonight. Hopefully we'll see you up on the podium on whatever track and car we have next week.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, that is Thomas Sink, and that'll round out our podium interviews for this evening. Brad, in one word, your thoughts on the race tonight?
One word's difficult.
Maybe 2 words?
2 words. No, I mean, I would think 1 word we can do is probably just beautiful. I think, this truck had a lot of great, fun attributes to it. Like the drivers all said, they had a great time. And, at the same time with the racing and the overall able to watch it, race it, I think everyone had a good time to watch and have a good time here for a track that I don't think really many people have heard of until tonight.
Fair enough. Well, listen, right now it just started. The Beer League, they're racing the NASCAR trucks over at Circuit Zola. Stay tuned in. Your YouTube feed will feed you right over there as soon as we are done. Once again, congrats to Mark Killen on the win tonight. For Derrick Watson, for Brad Dinos, I am Derrick Watson. And there's our mystery track. No idea what it may be. We'll find out in one. If you want to catch this race, you can catch this race and every race from Premier Sim Racing on the Green Flag TV YouTube channel. Once again, congrats to Mark Killen, the winner at Norway. So long and good night.